What's up, guys?
Hey.
How are you guys doing? Okay, so this is just a sort of commentary on what we shot, which we affectionately in-house call Gun Rain, but which is released on YouTube right now as The Wisdom of Bruce Lee. And just to give you some background on this, it's I had written it had been raining in Honolulu for a few weeks, just kind of on and off, but really hard. And so I was inspired by the rain, and I wrote like a little sequence that I'd been wanting to shoot for the rain. And we took this camera that we're shooting with right now, the RX100, and it rained really hard one day, and I said, okay, let's shoot this thing that I wrote. And we stopped working on whatever we were working on, and we ran outside and played in the rain. I'd been trying to write some text and dialogue, and I wasn't succeeding, and Noah suggested, oh, what about this Bruce Lee interview that he saw? So when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I actually ended up downloading the audio and cutting out some of the pieces where he talks a little bit more philosophically, a little bit more about water, and then I edited my version. Then we kind of like, I thought, okay, well, what about Noah and Larissa? They're both very talented editors, and I thought like, oh, what if we had it as a challenge where in their case they had an hour to edit their piece together, which I did not. I took a lot longer than an hour, but to my defense, I grabbed the Bruce Lee audio and like I chopped up and I got all the little segments out of it. Hey, let me tell you some technicals of the shoot. We you don't have to duck, dude. See you later, Scott. We shot the whole thing, that particular piece, on the RX100. We shot it at RX100 Mark IV. So we shot the whole thing, I think 1080p at 120 frames a second.
No, we shot it at the high frame rate.
240?
Yeah, 240.
Okay.
Except for that one shot with the drain,
Oh,
That's right.
yeah.
Jeff had shot that
At
the week
night,
before.
yeah, the week before, I happened to be at a place where there was like a gutter showing that, and that was like 960 frames a second. So yeah, you're right. All of it was shot at 240. We did not have an underwater housing for the camera.
Yeah.
We had two very big umbrellas.
Yeah, we had some big umbrellas. We did end up, and we had two LED lights and a couple of iPhones for some additional lighting. The camera itself got some moisture in it, but we put it like behind our old Mac Pro on top of this like battery backup and left
Behind
it there.
the fan,
yeah, behind the
too.
fan of this old
It was
Mac
just-
Pro. So it kind of dried it out, and the Mark IV doesn't have any issues. One other thing too, we ended up like we kept going inside and out to either get props or get lights or whatever. And so when we got the lights, at one point I grabbed some white, those like plastic grocery bags, and we wrapped the light in like a grocery bag. So if you're looking for like a cheap water protection for your LED lights, a grocery bag kind of just tied around it sort of worked, which was cool. No sound on the shoot, and all that sound is post. So here, we'll watch mine first, and then we can. I'll just kind of walk you through it like it's just commentary, and then go from there.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle.
So stupid.
You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot.
This was, oh man, but it's super cool. I had a lot of fun
Knowledge ultimately
shooting
means
in the rain,
self-knowledge.
and then this alley.
Anger, determination, or
Well, you were
whatsoever.
really concerned about the water. in that
Yeah,
alley, too.
that alley is like very dirty, and there's like a methadone
That is
clinic
why the
around the
world
corner from there.
Shapeless.
And so I was just kind of concerned of what's actually in this water.
Running
That's-
water
Good
never
incentive
grows
thing.
yeah. In the back of my mind, I was like, okay, it had been raining for a while, and maybe it washed it out a little bit, so. And then these gun casings were left over from the Hamlet shoot that we did a long time ago. This whole shoot was sort of inspired by that ring that we shot, and I was like, oh, I want to shoot sort of like a mini action sequence outside in the rain. I thought my cut was okay. I actually like Larissa's and Noah's cuts better than my cut. I don't know what else I could tell you about this. Yeah, like it was raining, it was pouring, and I was like, let's do this. I've been wanting to do this.
I did my gun rain sprint, as Jeff has said, in an hour. I don't have a fancy title card in the beginning, but I was definitely inspired by Bruce Lee's words, and I was interested more in the breaths and the pauses, and the silence, and really focusing on kind of like the rain and the audio. So that's kind of where I was aiming towards when I was doing my sprint. So
Let's watch it.
yeah, let's watch it.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash.
Sort of trying to build tension.
That's cool.
Running water never grows
I
stale. When you want to move, you're moving. And when you move, you're determined to move. Be water, my friend.
And I was also interested in the idea of leaving it up on that cliffhanger of what kind of water is he gonna become and what choice did he make. So
So deep.
so deep.
So
I know.
deep.
Like,
No, that's cool.
that's what I was going for.
That's cool.
On my sprint.
On Larissa's cut, which I had shown a friend, he noticed that your sound was a lot better, and then you weren't in the day when we were kind of exploring it, and we discovered you'd put like a limiter filter on the audio, and I think that was great. I think we need to, like on our cuts, we should add that or what have you. That was really good. It made the dialogue pop more. Noah, any kind of setup for this? Like, what you're thinking? Or?
Yeah, okay, so I think, like Jeff said, that I did see his cut before doing mine, so mine I feel like his was heavily influencing my cut a little bit, but I wanted to play a lot with speed ramps.
Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow,
Right there.
Yeah.
or it can crash.
I wanted to do another shot between that.
Be water, my friend.
I like the,
And I like your
the
sound
flash
design.
frame. Yeah.
Too. Like you definitely got creative with using like different sounds that didn't really have to do with water, like
Yeah.
radar and all that,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Is that's what that was?
and the beating heart. And everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was cool.
I normally don't like a beating heart, but it works in this piece.
We all had the same footage and we all had the same audio, but we all came up with different storylines, kind of, and different ways of attacking it. So it was neat being able to see like each other's style on attacking the same material.
I definitely want to do this again, but without seeing like a cut before.
Yeah.
There was definitely more I wanted to do with it, but I was trying to keep it within that hour sprint that we had set for ourselves. You gave me more time to do it. I was like starting, and I was like, oh no, like I'll keep it true to what it was.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah.
No, I felt the same thing too. It's like after you submit the test
Yeah.
And you're like, what did you get from question number 3? And you're like, oh no. So, and then you have more ideas later on. So, but it was good to, as an artist, to be like, I'm done, I'm walking away, leave it be.
So just to clarify, we didn't think of the hour time limit until after I had already cut my version of it, and then that whole hour idea, it's an idea that we've been playing with as a company and as a team. We'll give ourselves an hour to do something, whatever it is, like cut this wedding highlight video together, or cut these interviews, or like do something in an hour, because it's just sort of this, like, I've found over the years that it's this great way to force yourself to make decisions, because like as an editor, you know, there's thousands of decisions that you're making for an entire piece, and sometimes you just need that deadline, and like you're forced to, like, okay, I have to use this shot and I have to get rid of this. I can't be married to this idea, and I'm going to experiment with this or that or the other. And you know, in the beginning, it's not going to be as good as like you get over time, but I think it's one of those things that accelerates your skill level very quickly. And like I think the more we do these, the better. We should, and I think we've discussed it before, but for YouTube, I think we're going to try sprinting like all kinds of parts of making movies. So doing a sprint, like a writing session, doing a sprint, planning session, doing a sprint, shoot, and so on and so forth, and then just see kind of like what comes from that. Okay, one last thing, guys. We just wanted to put it out there. If you guys wanted to do your own edit, then we will upload the footage and you guys can download it and you can do an edit and submit it to us, and just like send us a link on YouTube. And the best ones, we'll probably do like another round of talking about it. Maybe we'll grab you on Skype or something and get your thoughts and ideas on what you did. So if that's interesting to you, definitely hit us up in the comments and then we'll send you the link to the footage. All right, thanks. Bye. If you guys have any questions on how we shot it, what we used, so on and so forth, hit us up in the comments and we'll try and get back to you. And with that, the temperature sensor is flashing, so we're going to cut it right here. All right, guys. Aloha.